Safe Horizon is the nation's leading victim assistance organization. We invited Kim Kavern, their Senior Director of Crime Victim Assistance Programs, on to BHeard about strategies for staying safe while staying home.
It's been clearly shown that intimate partner violence is something that thrives on silence and isolation. And you even talk about the threat that some abusers are using of the fear and using it to further separate folks.
Yep. I mean, we know that when you are sort of self-quarantined or self-isolating in a home with an abuser, that's a situation that's bound to increase levels of domestic violence, sexual assault, child abuse. We've heard horrific cases in cases like Pennsylvania and Italy this week. So we want survivors to know that services are still accessible, that we are still here, that you can still reach out to us. We know that your safety planning might look a little bit different given current situations, but we're here to help with that.
We know that you are part of the largest network across the country for helping people who are going through domestic violence right now. I wonder how your practice has changed since the onset of this epidemic.
So like most of the country, most of us are working remotely. Safe Horizon has a staff of about 1,000 that provide services to victims of all types of crime and abuse across New York City. About 800 of us are working from home. We do have about a fifth of our staff who are still essential employees going into the office, so working at sites like our domestic violence shelters and our street work overnight program for at-risk homeless youth. But most of us are working remotely in the courts, with the police department, providing counseling and therapy to services of domestic violence and other types of crime.
What's open and running now versus what is closed?
All of our services are still up and running. So although the courts in New York City are working remotely, you can still access the courts for emergency petitions. So police are still responding to violent incidents. If you call 911, police will still respond. Our advocates that work in partnership with the NYPD are still getting victim information and doing outreach to victims who file police reports. Our staff who work in the family and criminal courts across the city are still able to help victims. So if you need an order of protection, our Safe Horizon staff in the courts can help you with that and help you file remotely, and you can video conference in to meet with the judge.
That being said, I was on your website and you have some very concrete steps and tactics that people who may be feeling a little uneasy in their homes right now can actually employ.
One is that we have a safe chat feature on our website. So you may not be in a situation where you're able to make a phone call safely to a service provider like Safe Horizon. So you can go on our website from your computer, from your phone, and chat with an advocate in real time. If you need to safely escape our website, it won't show up in your search history. We're encouraging folks to think creatively about how they can stay socially connected to people who are safe in their lives. So if you have a neighbor or a colleague who knows what's happening in your relationship, are there ways through social media that you might be able to connect with that person, and to really recognize that just because you're isolated in your home and not able to physically access people, that there might still be ways for you to remotely access those supports.
I'm just going to ask you right now about a workable safety plan for anyone who may be on the verge of experiencing a violent episode.
Safety plans are going to look different for everyone, and we're really going to try to cater a safety plan that's specific to you. But some general tips are, if you have children in the home, is there a safe word that you can use in case your children need to run outside or need to call 911 or are feeling unsafe? Can you use social media, Instagram, Facebook, to connect with people, a neighbor, another safe person, if you need someone else to call 911 or do something for you? We've heard of people doing things like putting a plant in the window as a way of alerting a neighbor that they need help. We always advise staying away from rooms like the kitchen or the bathroom where there are a lot of hard surfaces or knives. So if you need to run away, staying away from those areas, staying downstairs, not running upstairs, things like that.
So Kim, you are the first, I want to say, non-doctor that we've spoken to, because we got the call, we realize how important this is to Brooklynites living under these isolation orders right now. How else are people getting the message that this is an important issue that needs to be addressed along with health and safety and staying away from a virus?
Well, we and the police department, the NYPD, the court systems, other service providers, we are really trying to spread this message far and wide that we are here and that we're working remotely, recognizing that stay-at-home orders are keeping survivors, they're keeping children away from support systems. Often school is a safe place for children who are experiencing violence in the home, and now not having access to that impacts people. So we want people to recognize that shelter is still available if that's something that you need. There are space in domestic violence shelters across the city. Our 24-hour hotlines are still open and running and available. Like I said, our advocates that work with the police department are still getting information and making outreach calls to you. So we just want everyone to know it's what we appreciate folks like you so much for getting the word out there, that help is available and you don't have to suffer alone.